I think, Bei, you made a really good point about prosumer/consumer versus B2B use cases. Like when it comes to monetization, there is almost a invisible ceiling for a lot of prosumer tools. If you want repeatable revenue, B2B use case is actually a much higher margin. Affordability is a lot higher, and it's a more of a critical need versus a lot of the tinkerer audience. That's why a lot of the traffic coming from Twitter, like I mentioned before, is not necessarily the audience that you want. Those are just AI tourists who wants to try it out, and they actually don't have a need to use your products. And they're like, sounds cool, used it, and they are gone. But a lot of the B2B use case, if your product actually is solving a hard problem, you can charge a much higher fee for your product. And what's good about B2B is you can invite your teammates, right? So the land and expand, like DR perspective, it is a lot higher than that. But not every tool is a fit for this type of prosumer to B2B transition. You really need to analyze what actually makes sense. The hypothesis I have is a lot of prosumer tools does have a ceiling. And if you want to grow further, you need to look into some of these B2B use cases.
Yeah, that's right on. That's actually with a lot of friends or partners we've been working with. We have already seen a lot of the prosumers are hitting an early ceiling after they did all the newsletter, after they exhaust all the SEO traffic and spend all the paid ads. Right, it's hard to get to the next phase. So I think a few things that's why Heijin is so smart to go from a consumer to the 2B in a very early on. But there are a few. I think it comes down to the founder's vision and the positioning, right? That's where I think the product marketing can play such a big role. Equals and the Jasper are good examples where they are so focused on 2B. Like I don't really want, right? Have they thought about consumer? They have, but at some point they probably saw the free users or just light users being more of a noise to them. So they actually put a wall to not to, especially Equals, right? Equal doesn't have a free, doesn't welcome, right, light user. They actually put a wall to only let high intent users to come in so that they can have enough of intent to explore all the features, right? Same for Jasper, right? Jasper, I remember last time I test, it's not like a Grammarly. You can probably use the free product for life, right? Jasper, you got to pay. If you don't pay, you're not really getting anything out of it. So, but they're doing well. So it's a good thing to think about when all the product think about what's the end state on the journey. And adding one more thing is recently as I'm working with the 2B data science company to run the PMF, they actually did try to get initial traffic to say, hey, how can we get initial traffic to hop on? So we use the initial traction to evolve our product. And then I think the outcome was actually no, right? So it's a lot easier. The early traffic was helping a lot of 2C companies getting the traffic and get them up and running. But then in our 2B cases, because the users are very specific, right? They have a very specific pain points, and they get a traffic, but the conversion was extremely low, right? The traffic almost didn't do anything. And then they had to take the slower approach, potentially slower approach like Bardeen, slow approach like Equals, right? You have to take the time and go to the linking, go to the places to explain what your product can do. Maybe acquire users one at a time, right? Forget about 1,000, right? 10,000 traffic in day one. Just sometimes the one approach doesn't apply to all, even if you have that AI buzzword, right, on the title there. All right, cool. And anything else to add on this?
I'll add one more. So speaking about just focusing on either verticals, which we might be thinking about a lot in B2B, focusing especially on just on a community aspect. I'm just looking at my notes here, was super impactful. where it's almost as if like solution marketing for the enterprise side, highlighting these are the solutions and these are specific verticals we're targeting at this time. And for us, for the 2 startups I've been thinking about, MedDefend, and another one is called MarketMate, content generating platform specifically to help product marketers. It was all about, we are focusing here right now. It's almost like a wait list for others. And that generated more success for them to highlight, we're doing this now, we're going to do others. Here, please let us know what you're interested in. So it kind of built up a demand of, oh, we should go to this next. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. It did work in these 2 AI companies because it's hard to boil the ocean in this case when also trying to do 0 to 1. So trying to highlight small successes first, help generate more demand later on.